The Moreno Show. Guys, today we have a pretty sexy conversation. I'm telling you. Yep, that's right. We are talking about fluoride. All right, you guys know I'm a big teeth guy. I like to smile. I like to take care of my teeth. So naturally, fluoride somehow becomes part of the conversation fairly naturally. So I was pretty ecstatic whenever I saw this in the news cycle. Look at this headline from NBC News. RFK Jr. says he plans to tell CDC to stop recommending fluoride in drinking water. Isn't that something? Now, you guys know I've written pretty extensively on the subject of fluoride. It's in my newsletter if you want to go ahead and check that out. You absolutely can. That particular portion is in 5 Lies You've Never Been Told, or you've been told about RFK Jr., so I thought that was awesome. But this moment happened in Utah, right? He was in Utah, and a reporter asked him point blank, what do you think would happen if all the states actually ended up banning fluoride? And this was his answer. So we're going to go ahead and play that video, but we're also going to show this amazing clip from the Huberman podcast where a dentist actually talks about this. Is a board certified dentist, Dr. Stacy. And I was interested in this conversation because Andrew Huberman posted this saying, if you are against or for fluoride in drinking water, I highly suggest you listen to this short clip from expert and dentist Dr. Stacy. You won't find a more knowledgeable person on the history and topic of fluoride. So I thought that was fascinating. So we're going to go ahead and play that, but we will start here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive in. Also, if you like having conversations like this, please, I'm begging you, consider liking and subscribing. It means the world to me. Okay, check this out.
Indicators are that fluoride damages IQ in the same way that leaded gasoline, at about the same level it does. And we saw about a 2-point IQ nationally, a 2-point IQ hike after about 20 years after the ban on leaded gasoline. We will see a difference.
There we go. RFK Jr. ends that question with, we will see a difference. Now, again, question was somewhat hypothetical, but the context is in action right now because Utah became the first state to actually remove fluoride from its drinking water. That is absolutely crazy, right? And here is what some local people in Utah had to say about the matter. And I love this clip because it really shows kind of the diversity of perspectives and opinions regarding this very, very trivial topic. So check this out.
Podcast one time, and since that podcast, I've been getting fluoride-free toothpaste.
I'll get my fluoride treatments at the dentist. I'll buy toothpaste with fluoride in it.
But it is you're gonna see a lot more cavities. People do not like change because they don't even know if it's good or bad for them if they do not try it.
So there we go. We have people across the spectrum of opinion. Some people say, oh my gosh, fluoride is so important. We are massively going to see the destruction of the oral healthcare space. It's going to be crazy. And then you have also other people saying, well, I mean, we have it in our toothpaste. That's going to be fine. Other people are like, oh, you know what? No fluoride. I'm okay. Don't need it in the water. Don't need it in the toothpaste. So I love how there's so much diversity here, and I just think I think it's nice. But check out this other clip with Andrew Huberman and Dr. Stacy. I think they really go into the practicalities of removing fluoride and what I believe the word is fluoridation. What the fluoridation process actually looks like among these water districts. And I thought this was really, really fascinating. So check this out.
Where are they getting the fluoride?
The fluoride that they get is a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry. And it's called hydrofluorosilicic acid. So as a byproduct of the phosphate fertilizer industry, it's considered a hazardous waste and it's very expensive to dispose of. But they have found that if diluted in theory and it's an acid, first of all. So if it's put into our water system, it is so diluted that it becomes safe. But I will say everyone can go research this and look at themselves, but it does come in like cement bags with skull and crossbones on the front, and they do have to wear hazmat suits to put it into our water. They're supposed to titrate it. And I think what's interesting, we're supposed to target 0.7 milligrams per liter. I've been involved in some educational campaigns and have tested communities surrounding Portland. It's very hard to keep it in range, and so there are some communities testing as high we've seen as 2.2 milligrams per liter, which definitely falls into, based on the science and literature, more concerning zone for neurocognitive issues and other health issues. So if you're concerned, you can call your local water bureau, municipality. I will say I don't think the federal government's going to have much control over this. It would be nice if the EPA stepped in. They have appealed, by the way, but it will come down to more like on the state level and local level. And we're already seeing states like Florida and Utah have run it through and initially done we're going to ban this as a mandatory thing in our state. And I think it's North Dakota, Kentucky. There's other states picking this up too, and other communities that are removing it or not adding it to their water. So it's an interesting time.
Wow. So one of the things that I love about this is she actually talks about the concentrations of fluoride here, and I brought up this graph from whenever I spoke on fluoride in one of my newsletters, because I do think this is really interesting. Whenever I wrote about it, I was talking about the untreated groundwater, right? Where fluoride is actually naturally found. And here you could actually see how the concentrations, like it's not equal. It's not distributed equal just because, nature is funny this way, right? But you can see how some areas have a much higher concentration of fluoride in the water, and that's why these areas actually deal with things like fluorosis and so much and so forth. And it's it is really unfortunate, but you could go ahead and see this graph of the United States, and the proper level should be less than 0.7, but as you can see, there's a massive range here. So from my eyes, I'm just thinking the fact that we're talking about it, I think that means we're moving in a better direction. And I love how whenever she was talking about this, she wasn't saying that this is actually a one size fits all problem, but the range varies so much just because the way that they actually pour it into the water system, it's just flawed. So personally, I'm happy that this conversation is being had. I think this is a desperate conversation that it needs to be talked about more, and I'm glad that it's getting the attention that it actually deserves. So, yeah. On a more light-hearted side of the conversation, RFK Jr. was obviously in Utah, but apparently this happened. According to the New York Times, this is an article from the New York Times published today. Kennedy kicks off tour on fighting chronic disease. But I love this moment. I think it's very lighthearted, but I think it's super funny. And I really hope there is a video here. The publisher writes, Mr. Kennedy also visited the school's test kitchen, a modern space with expansive windows and indoor shrubbery, where medical students and dietitians led him through healthy snack preparations. Right? They're talking about a hummus station. Next, at the hummus station, Mr. Kennedy added each ingredient dutifully, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, and a medical student leaned in to push the on button and on the food processor in front of him without putting the lid on, though an administrator stopped her just in time. That would have been bad, the student said, glancing at the secretary's white shirt and pressed suit. So a little bit of humor there for the moment. And you know what? Usually, I don't know why, but whenever we see it in the news, RFK Jr. ends up publishing a video in the next couple of days regarding this, because RFK Jr. is on a Maha tour. So I think that is interesting. Another lighthearted thing that happened today. I saw this from I actually saw this in many different places, but this is from the Rapid Response 47, where the Agriculture Secretary she just slams Jake Tapper so bad. But like you guys know, I give a lot of grace to these people, but Jake Tapper is trying to do a 180 flip, and I don't know if we should let him check this out.
You've got 2 days of data. Everyone, especially on your side, on the left, is freaking out.
I'm not on the left.
But at the end of the day, listen, this whole concept, all right, Jake, thank you. This whole concept is about
I love that so much. She said, aha, Jake. Okay.
all right, Jake, thank you. This whole
That is hilarious. So apparently, like many other Democrats, or maybe former Democrats, people are trying to disconnect themselves from the left. So I thought that was an interesting point to make. We've made that point so many times all throughout the channel. But yeah, Jake Tapper, you're not going to be able to walk away from this one. I am sorry. We will not let you. Anyways, let me know what you thought about this conversation. Tell me what you think about this incredible topic of fluoride. Tell me if you're as excited about this as I am, or if it's just another one of those things that you think very little of, like probably most people. And let me know what you think about Jake Tapper. Anyways, let me know what you think about this conversation in the comment section, and I will see you all next time. Alrighty. Episode's over already? Jeez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.